Hey guys, what is up? Sam here from the travel blog Mapping Along. I hope you guys are still doing well, staying at home, and hopefully editing some photos that you've maybe taken from your past travels, or maybe you have taken while you've been spending so much time like us just kind of hanging around here at the house. Today I'm just going to do a little photo editing video for you guys. A lot of people have been trying to go after that kind of vintage vibe look. It's really... Thanks for revving your engine during my video. Yeah, so a lot of people have been trying to achieve this kind of vintage look in their photos recently, so I just wanted to hop into Lightroom and give you guys kind of a quick guide on how to achieve this look really easily. It only takes a few clicks. You can obviously perfection it a lot more than what I'll be doing in this video. I'm just going to try to give you the basics of how to achieve this look. We're gonna look at two photos that we actually took yesterday. We had the car, so we actually went down to Old Montreal and took a few nice photos in front of the nice historic old buildings that we have in that part of town. I'm gonna be using one of our presets on this photo. I'm still gonna be explaining to you guys what exactly the preset is doing. If you don't have our preset, then you don't worry, you can still manage to achieve this look without any difficulties. You can pause this video whenever you'd like to look at the settings I'm using in Lightroom at whatever point in the video that I'm at. I'm also going to be doing it on the computer on the Lightroom desktop version just because it's easier to see what I'm doing, but you can obviously also use the Lightroom app straight from your phone to achieve the same exact look, and just hit the preset that I'm using, start from there, and then work your way towards the look that you guys are going for. Just going to launch my screen recording here. Alright guys, so what we're going to do is hop right into the Lightroom desktop app. Here is my final photo. So this is the look that we're going to try to achieve. I edited this photo earlier, and what we're going to do is just go back through it together and try to achieve the same look using the preset that I used before. So this is the before, this is the after. I'm going to make this nice and big so you can just get a look at what we're going for. So yeah, this is the look that we're trying to achieve, and let's just take it back to the import and see what we were looking for from the beginning. This is the imported photo. So when we're trying to achieve these kind of vintage vibes, what we're going to try to do is up the oranges and yellows in the photo and kind of bring down the cooler side. So bring down the blues, bring down the greens, and really focus on those warm colors without going overboard. So everything is obviously personal preference. I'll show you guys what I like to do. I like to lower the blacks a lot and really get this nice dark vintage look into my photos, and I'll show you guys how we are going to do this right now. So first things first, I'm going to apply the preset that I used before. It is the Paris preset from our first preset pack, which I will link in the description down below. So as you can see guys, this already gives us a really nice one-click edit. I would not even be afraid to just go ahead and post this image to my Instagram right after that one-click edit, but I will make some tweaks to it for you guys to see how I can affect different areas of the image. So right off the bat, the first thing I'm going to look at here after applying the preset is looking at what exactly this preset did to my image. So it hasn't changed my exposure, which is a good thing. You'd never want a preset to change your exposure because that's just going to mess with your image. So you're going to want to do this manually. I'm going to bring the exposure down just a tad, and then I might bring the temperature. So as you can see, this is the temperature of my image. I'm gonna bring the temperature down just a little bit because I think it is a little bit too warm. So I'm gonna bring it down to 6100 and maybe make the image a little bit more towards the pinks. So this is your tint. I'll just show you guys what this is doing. This is affecting the tint of my image. I'm gonna bring this up just a little bit. So put it at +9. That looks about right. Everything else in this basic edit, guys, kind of looks pretty good to me. I might up the shadows a little bit just to get more details in where Yas's hat and her hair is, and I might just bring down the highlights because there are quite a little bit of highlights on the upper left side of the image. So I might bring down the highlights just a tad to bring more details back into the image. That looks about right. And now I'm going to show you guys the S-curve. I'm not going to touch it because I think the preset did a pretty good job on this S-curve. This is the one we're going to be looking for. So if you don't have the preset, you guys can try and replicate this S-curve. Basically what it does is it brings up, I'll just show you guys, it brings up the fade in the image quite a bit. I'm gonna leave that as is, and it brings down the blacks. So this is what it would look like from the start. It brings down the blacks quite a bit. And that is a look that, as I said before, I quite like. So it brings out quite a lot of contrast in the image so that I don't need to do it here in the basic corrections. That S-curve takes care of that nice contrasting look for me. The next thing I'm really gonna wanna tweak, and this is really personal choices, is the colors. So the colors of the image, I'm gonna maybe wanna accentuate even more that vintage look. So I'm gonna really wanna bring out her skirt here. Yes, a skirt. So I'm gonna up the saturation of the reds, because I'm pretty sure that is a red skirt. Yes, it is. So I'm gonna bring up the reds to maybe about 40, 45. And maybe bring down the blues and greens, as I said, just to make sure that we have a nice warm look to our photo. I'll bring the greens now, not all the way, but maybe to -60s. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is change the hue, because I'm not really a fan of this green color that this cafe chose, and since I can change it, may as well do it. So I'm gonna go for something a little bit more towards the blues. So if I go into the hue of that particular color that I'm trying to change, so right now I'm looking at something that is green. If you guys don't know what the color of a particular section of the photo is, what you can do is always select this little tool here in the hues, and then go select in the image that particular part of the image, and you can see what colors you guys are looking for. So here I'm looking for something between the greens and the aquas. So I'm gonna select the sign here, and what you guys can do is click down on that sign, and then with your mouse kind of drag it up and down, and as you can see, that is gonna affect the color of just that one section of the image. So I'm bringing it from blue down to some kind of green, yellow, kind of vomit color, unfortunately. I'm gonna look for something more towards the blues. I kind of like those cool blues in my photos. So I'm gonna bring the greens up even more here towards maybe about +70. That looks kind of nice to me. Less green, more blue. And then maybe bring down the saturation of those blues even more. And now that cafe I find kind of pops a bit more now that this line is more towards the blues. The last thing I'm going to talk about, guys, is the upright correction. So here you can see if your lines are not perfectly straight, you can always hit that auto button on the upright correction. The preset doesn't do it for you because that sometimes messes around with your angles. So as you can see here, I hit the auto correction, but we lost a portion of her shoe. So what I'm gonna do is not hit the auto button. I might hit the level button instead, and that's just gonna make my photos nice and straight. And then myself go in and hit the vertical transform just to make it a little bit straighter vertically. You can see what the vertical transform does here. I'll show you guys an exaggerated look, and then just go back to what I selected. Then the last thing what we're gonna do, guys, is before exporting the photo, I always like to crop it in for Instagram, so I just don't have to worry about it later. I'm gonna select the 4:5 aspect ratio because that's what we're gonna be using for Instagram, because we wanna take up the most space possible on the feed. Just gonna try to center Yas as much as possible here in the photo. All done. So this is the look that we were trying to achieve, guys. I think the photo looks really good. The last little thing that I might want to talk about is if you really want to get that vintage look, a lot of people have started adding grain to their photo. So if you scroll down all the way here to the effects tab, you can see that there is grain that you can add to the photo. So this can help you get kind of that film camera look while still using obviously a digital camera. So I might put a little bit of grain on this photo. I don't think it is showing that much. It might be more apparent once I put it onto my phone. But yeah, here, let's just add a little bit of grain to this photo since we are going for that vintage look. I'll put the grain at, I don't like to do anything too crazy, so I'll go at about 30, and then maybe the size of grain up it so it shows a little bit more. 55, something like that. Then look at the image. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. So that is going to be my vintage look, guys. This is going to be the look that I'm going for in this photo. I'm pretty happy with that result. Now, for fun, let's see how that edit applies to another photo. So what we're going to do is copy this edit that we've done already. Hit copy here, copy all these settings, and then go down here to another photo. Maybe take another photo from that same set, or maybe take a different photo. All right, let's see how this one looks. Again, Yas is in front of this nice looking historic hotel here in Montreal, and that is the one-click edit. She is way too orange for my liking. So, once we correct the white balance, guys, looks much better. Maybe up the exposure a little bit. Make the photo nice and straight. Auto correction. There we go. Crop it in for Instagram. 4x5. Center Yas. Make her nice and centered. Zoom her in a little bit. There we go. So that is basically a one-click edit with the same exact edit that we just went through, guys, using the same preset, using the same settings. I would definitely go in and tweak this a little bit more just because I think her face is a little orange here, but honestly it gives you a great starting point. So once that first edit is done, guys, and you got that vintage look, either save it as a preset by going up in your develop tab, so you can go in and create a new preset. If you like the exact look that you guys have just created, go ahead here, create a new preset. You can call it something like vintage vibes, put it in here. I'll put it into our mapping presets folder that we have here. You keep exactly which settings you guys would like. Typically the settings I don't like to keep are the white balance, the exposure, because those vary way too much from photo to photo, and I don't like to hit the transform tab as well because it kind of messes, as I said, with the angles too much. I like to do that myself. So for a preset, I won't keep that, but I will keep the rest. And there we go. That is our final photo, guys. So that's all for this video, guys. Hope you learned something today. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. I will be putting out quite a bit more preset videos in the next coming weeks, some more editing videos using our preset pack. For those of you who have purchased the preset pack, thank you guys so much. We do have a discount code for it right now if you go and hit the link in this video. And if you guys do like the presets and are using them, let me know in the comments below. I hope you learned something from this video, guys, and I will see you next time.